What's going on, Giovanni Cabrera? How are you, my friend?
What's going on, gentlemen? Doing good, man. Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh man, thank you for obviously giving us the time. So we know that you're in a comeback fight now with Fighters First Management. They're going to have you coming back in Corpus Christi, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Now I'm gonna just tell you. I don't know. I probably did already because I'm sure I made it my thing to get you on after your last fight to express that I thought you won that fight, man. I don't know if you went back and watched it. What did you grade it? Did you think it was tighter than you initially expected? And do you still feel you won the fight versus Isak Pitbull Cruz?
Oh yeah, man. I watched it a million times. I think it was a very close fight, but I think I did enough. I think I outboxed them. I think in the later rounds I pushed them back and I knocked them down, and they didn't count that knockdown. I believe in the early rounds he repeatedly tried headbutting me, and they that in that round where they took a point away from him, they scored it even. So I thought it was just had they scored the fight fairly, I think I win easily on the scorecards. But it was a very tough fight. I mean, the guy, he's a little powerful little bastard for sure. But but yeah, but no, I absolutely feel I won the fight. I feel like I was the more skilled fighter. I think at the end of the fight, if you ask if you can see in the ring who still wanted to be there, who wanted to get out, it was definitely Pitbull Cruz.
Now that was a very tight fight, not only to the fans but the judges. The scorecards, universally, all three were significantly tight. Um, but you're not signed to Top Rank, and he's not signed to Top Rank, and he's with PBC, and it's just a difficult rematch to make. Um, do you have to mentally just put him to the back burner and hope that it happens and move forward and forget about it? Or do you
I'm
secretly believe you could get that rematch?
Well, I want the rematch. He's probably still having nightmares about it, about the whole fight, man. So I mean, I really don't think it's. There's no way in hell he'd ever fight me again. I mean, he knows that he walked away with a nice gift, and he's continuing his trajectory to fight Rolly Romero, which by the way, he's fighting Rolly Romero. That's got to be the lowest IQ boxing fight in history, man.
You're terrible. Listen, so how easy is it for you to make that 135-pound limit?
It costs work, but I can do it. It's all about discipline, and when I get all my energies in the right direction, man, it's all about the will. If you have the will to do it and you're optimum, then do it, and I can still do it.
I'm sure you watch Renee Tellez fight. Obviously, that win is aging very well for you. What did you think of his past performance with Georgia Costa?
Really good performance. I mean, he showed that timing is everything. We faced each other in a very peculiar moment, and it was a surprise for you. Have to prepare for a fighter like me. You can't. My style is completely unique. It's very difficult to read, hard to handle, a lot of movement, a lot of awkward angles. So it's no surprise to me, and that's why I accepted the fight immediately when they said I didn't. Had I known a little bit more about him, I probably would have. I don't know if I would have taken that fight. Had I finished watching the video that I was watching when they offered me, it was his fight versus Carlos Balderas. The next round that I didn't watch, he knocked him out cold. So, all my respect to him, and he after the fight, Hiron came up to me and he was like, "You know what, man? He gave some really kind words. I'm not exactly sure how it went, but it was somewhere along the lines of, "Hey, man, not to be on any kind of bullshit, but hey, man, I didn't know what the fuck you were doing in there. Like, thank you. You showed me something different in boxing." And I was like, "Yo, like, respect, man. Very cool." Um, yeah.
So I know that for Devin's last fight for Regis, he went the wild card and sparred you a few times. Um, how was that work, and how does that help you if it does? Obviously, it was a couple months ago, so it's not gonna help for this fight, but just in general.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna help me at all get that fight. No, no, Devin Haney's smart as hell. He's got great timing. He's got a good right hand. Um, but the more that you get to know a fighter, there's very few times that a fighter in my position gets to fight the number one guys in their weight class. And for me, it was a real learning experience. I feel like the first few times he definitely was, just out edging me, little tricks of all of the talent that he has, and he's a very smart fighter. But later on, I felt like I was really understanding his style and what he does in his little tricks. I'm a very adaptive, very receptive fighter, and I definitely think I could beat him, man. I definitely think I could beat him. So if he's got the balls to face El Cabron, let's go, man. But I do respect him. I think he's incredibly talented, and I would just love that fight. I think that my volume is too high when I want to go forward. I think that I got a lot of problems to present him.
Now, obviously, you kind of gave your opinion on the Isak Cruz and Rolly fight, but could you give an official prediction as to who you believe is going to win? Because you just kind of said it was low IQ.
Nah, I'm just bullshitting, man. I'm just talking shit, because they're definitely not the two sharpest tools in the shed I've ever seen. But no, physically they're pretty gifted. Rolly's tough as he's a good boxer. He's tough as hell. But the only thing is, all respect to him, but it seems like he may be a little bit hurt from his last few fights. He's got his bell rung every time, and it showed. Obviously Gervonta, and I think he really might have been gifted his title. I think Isaac Cruz, a lot of people think he won the fight all over Mexico and all the scorecards in Mexico on TV Box Azteca. They had me winning the fight on the tele. So, in Mexico, Mexican fans, they don't like the bullshit. They talk a lot of shit and they rip anyone apart who they don't think, did their thing. And I think he's got a lot of shit to prove in this next fight. I think a combination of him being hungry to prove himself, for probably he knows he didn't win that fight, and unless he's just lying to himself. But if he really feels, if he knows the truth and he knows that I edged out the victory, he's gonna be hungry, man. And I think on that note, he's gonna beat Rolly. He's gonna hurt him.
Now, you haven't fought since that fight, which was on the Earl Spence and Bud undercard. You're going to be fighting Richard Quiroz. Maybe I'm saying that right? Quiroz?
That's
Uh,
right.
this isn't an Isaac Cruz. So, how do you not slip up and not train to the full potential? Does that happen to you where you fight down to the level of opposition or you can't get up for certain opponents just because, again, it's not an Isak Cruz. It's not a Gabe Flores. It's not a Reneus Tellez.
Well, I got big plans for my future. I'm eyeing another big fight after this fight. Not to overlook my opponent at all, but it's just about becoming a true professional. You know, really taking your discipline to the next level because more than like for me, you have to find different things that drive you. If it's not my opponent, it's definitely the business opportunities that are going to be presented to me during and after this fight, and that's motivation enough. We're prize fighters, so I'm my eyes on the prize. I need that money.
For sure, man. Um, Now, you're saying you're eyeing bigger fights after this. I asked about the making weight. I know you noticed that Sabril Matias is out there. He's kind of the new boogeyman. You fought in as high as 38, obviously at 40 when you first started. What's your thoughts on the IBF champ at 140? And can you see a move to 140 for a title shot versus Matias? I mean, it's the classic
Uh,
Puerto Rico versus Mexico.
yeah, I mean Matias, he's a skilled fighter. I respect him, but to be fair, if I'm taking any risk, I want that money and I want good risk. I want to if I'm moving up to 140, I want to fight Pitbull Cruz or I'll fight Rolly. Make more money, bigger names. So I would love to fight Gervonta. I think Rolly, he's a big physical dude. When he was keeping his distance against Gervonta, I think he was winning the fight. I think I'm a smarter boxer than him. I got quicker feet and a better jab. I think I could dance around Gervonta Davis. His feet are too wide. I think he's got the power to hurt anybody. He could hurt me. He could hurt anybody. But I'm definitely the smarter fighter. So I don't think I'll fall for those traps that some of the fighters that he's faced. They get lackadaisical, move forward, and then end up getting knocked out. I would have that in the front of my mind the entire time.
I have one of our listeners, Octo, that says, "How is it training at Wild Card Boxing Gym?"
Man, it's pretty badass, man. I mean, we get the hungriest fighters from all over the world. For me, I wake up, resting from a weekend. It's Monday. I'm coming in and do my thing, and I see some international fighters that flew in hungry, ready to prove themselves in the Freddie Roach. That's a regular Monday for me. So I'm getting used to that high energy, very hungry fighters coming into the gym, and me having to just, work and do my thing.
I got Rod from LA. What happened with the matchroom deal? Were you supposed to be getting a matchroom deal, possibly, potentially? Was there any rumors?
No comment.
Okay. Uh, we have your brother. What do you think of Keyshawn Davis fight versus El Cabron Cabrera?
Nah. Keyshawn, they had offered me that fight before the Pitbull. Top Rank had offered me that fight, and I immediately accepted. I said, "Sure, I'll fight the kid. He doesn't have enough experience for what I'm bringing yet." Everybody could talk all as loud as they want, but I'm here. If they want to do something big, just make it worth the while. Don't be greedy, and just respect. That's all I'm about.
All right. We got Danteros. What is your Mexican go-to meal after a fight? Dante Rios from Plant City, Florida.
Mm, Fuck. Let's see. Go to meal unas guacamayas, man. Guacamayas. They're these tortas from León, Guanajuato that you only get in León, Guanajuato. They're like a torta de chicharrón con salsa de árbol, man. Fire, man. Fucking if you like heat, that's what to get.
Yo, I love that your Spanish accent came out. You always sound so American, but the
Yeah.
definitely you can hear it there in a few of those words you chose to say. But those are all the questions, Giovanni. Man, thank you so much. First, I do want to give credit to your management company because they're the one putting this show on together. This is Desi Martinez, his first time promoting as well. So you guys are getting yourself back out there, getting active. Salute to Fighter First Management for definitely keeping you active. But yeah, man, please give out your social media and let everybody know how to watch this fight and where they can buy tickets for this fight.
So follow Desi Martinez Promotions. Follow me on Instagram at Gio Cabrera Boxing, and there will be a link there for tickets, which are on sale now. And yeah, man, we're eyeing big things. I'm looking for a spectacular performance. I learned a lot from the Pitbull fight, and I'm ready to start knocking dudes out, man. No more leaving things into the hands of the judges, man. It's not, if this is what the people want, then I must do it. I've got along as far as I could being a technical skilled boxer, and I'm still gonna always carry that with me. But I've been forced to take what I have to take. So expect an aggressive, explosive performance.
Champ, I do got one last question from James Valdez in San Antonio, Texas. You kind of just said these words. What did you learn the most from the fight with Pitbull Cruz?
Um, I think I was surprised by his power, which was his like physically he was very strong, but for some reason his punches didn't have the same kind of pop. Which like I don't know how his physical strength didn't traduce into the pop. And it was I think I really studied the way that he kind of leans down and like throw and turns his whole body with his head, and that little weight shifting maneuver allowed me to understand a lot of mechanics that I wasn't doing properly, sitting down on my own punches, and I've been able to kind of learn a lot of how to punch with really good leverage from that fight versus Isaac.
Well, again, thank you for coming on, Gio. We're gonna be tuned into that fight. I'm actually gonna be there, so look forward to watching you fight live. and best of luck.
My brother, thank you so much for having me.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Giovanni Cabrera, El Cabrón.
Family, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.